Well, howdy do, buckaroos. This is Joe Layden of Cowboys and Indians magazine, and I'm very happy today to have as my guest J.D. Shelburne, who is about to release the lyric music video for the title cut from his upcoming album, Neon Hallelujah. First of all, good to see you again, J.D.
You too. Thanks for having me back on, and thanks for the premiere. Really appreciate you guys. Love what you do.
What was there about this particular song when you were gathering songs together for the new album that made you think, first off, yes, this is one I want in this bunch, and two, this has got to be the title cut.
Yeah, I grew up in Kentucky, a little small town called Taylorsville, and that's where I didn't discover music until I was 18 years old, later in life, and something about just growing up back home, just a small town vibe, really kind of draws me into songs that talk about it. And when I was putting together my record, this is actually the last song I heard. I actually needed to fill two more spots on my record, and my producer, who I'd worked with a couple songs, he's like, "Man, I got about four songs I'd like to pitch you," and I'm like, "Sure." Well, the first three you pitched me, I was kind of like, they just weren't really didn't really fit my style. I like the songs, but when Neon Hallelujah came on I was listening to my truck actually. I'm like, "Gosh, this is a smash hit," and I just love the ambiance of taking me back home for a few. And the rusty trucks, the corner stores, everything that described in this song is really how I grew up. And I'm surprised I haven't written a song like this before, but I knew once I had the chance to record it, I knew fans would relate to it. I still record songs about small town life, but it's really all I know growing up as a kid. And I knew this song would just relate to fans, and I'm so glad it was the first time I put out. And you mentioned the album title. I just thought Neon Hallelujah was very unique. I don't know. It's hard to spell hallelujah. I finally figured out how to spell hallelujah. That's a tough word to spell, man. But I just thought it was a catchy title. I don't know what it was about the title that really sold me, but I love the title. I just thought it stood out.
Now, just how difficult a task is it to cull songs for a new album? I mean, do you think at first, okay, I want this album to generate this emotion, so I want songs like this? Or do you look at what's the best songs out there and then come up with an overall theme? Or, I mean, some combination of the two, or what?
It is. It's honestly, to be honest, that's the easiest part for me is finding the songs. And when I was growing up as a kid, back when CDs were popular and were first coming out, I remember mom and dad would buy CDs for different holidays. They'd be in our stocking at Christmas, or we'd get them some for Easter. Whoever our artist was at the time we were growing up, we would get their CD. And I feel like I always had a good ear for picking songs. I could go back on that CD and pick out three of my favorite songs, and by over the next 6 months, those three songs I picked would be on the radio. And I don't know if I just had a good ear for good songs, and I've just kind of related that into my record through the years, and have just been. I feel like I just know a good song when I hear one, and I've just listened to music so long, and it's tough. It's actually tough to get really good songs from hit writers, but I've been pretty blessed to meet a lot of writers along the way that have written a lot of top 50 hits and or top 10 hits, and I happened to move next door to a number one hit songwriter a few years ago that really changed my life. So I've got a great connection on getting good songs and listening, but I've also tried to write. I try to write at least three or four on each record just so I can really talk in depth about the process of writing a good song. But there's so many good songs out there that I didn't write and I want to record. So I try to get on my hands on any song that I think's a hit that I can get recorded. And luckily, it's pretty much worked out the last 5 records. So
Now, how difficult is it now that you've enjoyed some degree of success, actually quite a degree of success, to reconnect with small town life? I mean, do you go back to your hometown and, people, hey, what is ZZ Top really like?
yeah. Yeah, going back home, it actually makes it more fun. The more successful you get, I think the more fun it is to go back home, because you go out to dinner, or you go to the grocery, get gas. I mean, those people who I grew up with, and I feel they perceive you a little bit differently as you get more successful. And it's actually really interesting to just hear the stories uh, I really enjoy going back home to see family, but I also enjoy going back home to just to see people I grew up with that I don't get to see much anymore. They always ask me like, "Hey, what's it feel like to have a number one song?" Or "How was ZZ Top?" Or "How's the record doing?" Do you live in a big house? Are you rich? I get all these crazy questions, man, and it's kind of funny to
Well, you
like,
signed this check here, right here, please.
exactly right. I mean, listen, I've had a lot of funny questions asked to me through the years on donating money. Will you pay off my son's college? Will you buy me a new car? I mean, I've had a lot of stuff. I've had a lot of crazy questions, man. So, but it's fun to go back. But as I've gotten more popular with music, it feels like I know. It seems like I know more people when I go back home. And I know most of everybody, growing up. But as my hometown's gotten bigger as I've left, but it feels like the more popular you become, the more people that seem to know your music. And so that makes it really interesting on the stories you hear. Like I was home at Christmas time and I probably talked to 50 people in the grocery store about 50 different stories. And so it's amazing how this music has and Facebook and has helped us reach more a platform of fans. And so it's really it's kind of neat to hear all the stories.
If I were to look at the pile of CDs near your player, whether it's in the car in your home right now, what are some of the CDs I would see?
You definitely would see Tim McGraw, Set the Circus Down record. Love that album, man. It was one of my favorite McGraw records. You'll see Garth Brooks, Rope in the Wind. I was a fan of that. I loved Alan Jackson's Who I Am record, Kenny Chesney's Greatest Hits. I'm a big 90s rock fan, so Matchbox 20, Goo Goo Dolls, those kind of bands too. But man, 90s country really shaped, my love for music way early on. And so if you go back into actually, if you go out my garage behind me right now and go to my old 96 Camaro, which it's been restored, I still have a box of CDs in the back seat. I can kind of reach back when I'm driving, pull them out. And I've always pull out one I love to listen to. There's never been a CD I throw back in the back and try another one. It's always there's one I like. So I'm still CDs too, as long as they don't skip, man. I get a lot of CDs that still skip. Drives me crazy.
Well, we'll be able to buy Neon Hallelujah on CD this spring, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Well, thank you for the words and good luck to you.
Thank you so much for premiering and love what you guys do, man. Appreciate you supporting us.